So the 66 Grammy Awards were last night, but I'm not here to talk about that. They just reminded me about a specific moment in time. I'm here to talk about the 64th Grammy Awards and how BTS stole that night despite so many things working against them. Editor Jose here, reminding you to like and subscribe the video. That is the easiest way to support the channel. Also, if you want to help support me as a creator, please go to my Patreon. The link is in the description below for more content. Your support helps me create more videos and just helps me keep going. As a reminder, I do not make money off of YouTube. I am demonetized, so your support on Patreon is greatly appreciated. Now let's get back into the video. The 2022 Grammys were the first in-person award ceremony for the Recording Academy after COVID-19 caused a worldwide pandemic and caused all entertainment events to be held online. So of course, when BTS got nominated again for the Best Pop Duo Group Performance category for Butter, ARMYs were excited for a possible performance by the guys, and only the guys, for the first time ever on the live Grammy stage. Let's remember, this isn't the first time BTS performed or attended the Grammys. They were first presenters in 2019, then they performed in 2020 with Lil Nas X, and in 2021 they performed by themselves, but from South Korea because of the pandemic. So 2022 would be their first ever solo stage performance live in the US, and our excitement was rewarded. The Recording Academy and BTS announced they would be taking the stage for a performance. The anticipation was at an all-time high, but things did not go as smoothly as anyone expected leading up to Grammys night. Let's take a trip back on memory lane and look at what the members each went through. Back in November of 2020, BigHit would let us know that Suga underwent shoulder surgery and was recovering. Yes, this was 2020, but a surgery like this is no small thing. By 2022, Suga was fully recovered, but when it comes to a surgery like this, pain comes and goes. You're never back to how you were before you injured yourself. It's always inspiring to see Suga perform knowing what he's gone through. Fast forward to December of 2021, RM, Jin, and Suga tested positive for COVID, but fully recovered. This was still just the beginning though. Then in January 2022, BigHit lets the world know Jimin had been hospitalized for appendicitis. Not only did he have to get surgery for it, but along with that, Jimin tested positive for COVID. Thankfully, he recovered. But again, surgery is no small thing. February 2022. BigHit releases a statement letting us know V has tested positive for COVID. He recovered successfully, thankfully. March 2022, a month before the Grammys, BigHit lets us know Jin had to undergo surgery on his index finger after injuring it. He was discharged from the hospital after the surgery went as planned, but it was stated Jin would be wearing a cast to be able to fully recover. Then towards the end of March 2022, BigHit announces J-Hope has tested positive for COVID. That was a week before the Grammys. Things were tense. A few days after, the rest of BTS flew out to Las Vegas for the awards. We were worried, but BigHit assured us J-Hope would join the members after fully recovering. And then, March 29th, 2022, 5 days before the Grammys, BigHit breaks the news. Jungkook has tested positive for COVID. We weren't given any promises as this was out of everyone's hands and up to time. All anyone could do is wait for Jungkook to recover and test negative before the Grammys. BigHit stated his participation would be determined by local regulations. A member with an injured shoulder, a member recovering from appendicitis surgery, a member with an injured finger, multiple COVID cases, 7 to be exact. So much was being thrown their way, and we could see it during their rehearsals. Back in South Korea, they started their rehearsals for the performance without Jin and J-Hope, seeing as they weren't able to. Then when they were in Vegas for rehearsals, Jungkook could not rehearse as well. That's 3 members out. But then, BigHit announced Jungkook had fully recovered by April 2nd. the day before the awards. This means BTS only had 1 day to rehearse with all the members. Well, minus Jin, as he would not be able to join in the full performance. You see, for the majority of the performance, Jin had to sit and just sing. So despite everything, the guys took to the stage and delivered one of their best performances ever. It did not even show they only had 1 day together to rehearse. It was perfection, so much so that they received a standing ovation and stole the night, essentially. Sure, they didn't take the trophy, but they won the night. People magazine stated they stole the show, saying, at last Sunday's award ceremony, Doja Cat and SZA ultimately took home the trophy for Best Pop Duo Group Performance for Kiss Me More. However, BTS arguably stole the show with a James Bond-esque performance of Butter, complete with intense, laser-dodging choreography, and member Jungkook riding a rope from the ceiling to the stage. Rolling Stone named it their number 13 best Grammy performance of all time. One night in Vegas, BTS took to the stage with the swagger of a James Bond squad of super spies in Rat Pack suits. Their big Grammy moment was long overdue. In the pandemic, they had to beam in long distance from Seoul, and in previous years, they stole the show with just a few seconds of airtime. But they were on fire with confidence and charisma. Days after the awards, Ben Winston, executive producer for the Grammys, gave us more insight to the worries that were experienced behind the scenes. There were times when we were worried they weren't going to be able to be here, executive producer Ben Winston told the Rolling Stones show. J-Hope had COVID and was quarantined, and he wasn't allowed to fly until Saturday, the day before the show. Jungkook was in Vegas with COVID, but then unless he got 2 negative tests, he wasn't allowed to come. Winston said things got very tense and his team were very nervous right up until the James Bond-inspired performance happened. But when it came off without a hitch, with all 7 members doing their thing, he was elated. I was actually so excited by that one, not because it was better than anyone else's, but simply because I knew what those 7 guys had been through to get it to that level. Winston said of the smooth final product, I do think those guys are unbelievably talented. I am sort of in awe of what they do each time. And after the guys stole the Grammys, they went on to successfully hold their 4-night sold-out shows at the Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. I will never forget this performance, and I think I can speak for many ARMY out there and say they agree. Not just because of the amazing performance, I mean, come on, the lasers, the jackets, like the dance break, everything, guys. And again, they only had 1 day. And we say day loosely because we know they didn't have 24 hours. It was less than that. Not only just because of that, but because of everything they had to deal with to get there. The definition of inspiration. Let me know in the comments below what other moments in BTS's history you would want me to cover in a future video. Thanks guys for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, adios.